so that your feet end up in parallel and you have a little awareness of those inner thighs. I think you're okay. All right. So squeeze in enough that you feel some engagement of those inner thighs. And again, that your ankles are right underneath your knees, which are right underneath your hip bones. And then let's just find our Pilates posture by pulling those abs in, pulling those ribs down, rolling those shoulders up, back and down, lengthening through the top back side of the head. And then we're just going to do some heel raises here, lifting up onto those toes and coming down as gracefully and quietly as possible onto the heels. So you don't want to slam down. You're going to try not to pivot backwards, just lifting and lowering and lifting and lowering up on those toes and gently tapping those heels. Couple more here. And again, thinking about staying in that Pilates posture with that back of the neck long, lengthening top of the head. Last few and last one. Can you hold it up on those tippy toes for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently down. Shift your weight onto your right leg. Bring that left leg in. Bring your feet into parallel and give me a squeeze, 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 squeezing in, squeezing in. Again, engaging those inner thighs, squeeze, squeeze, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shift over onto your right leg, left leg. Right leg will squeeze in, foot is flex and squeeze, squeeze. Good, and then weight back on that right leg. Turn your left toe in. Use that quad to lift your kneecap. Lift your left leg, heel first, as if you're going to drop the ball, but don't quite drop it. So lift an inch, lift an inch, lift an inch. Feel this in your outer hip, outer thigh. Good, and then again, that foot down. Now we flex through that right leg and we lift as if we're going to drop the ball, and we lift and lift and lift and lift and lift and lift. Good. So a little inner thigh, little outer thigh. And now let's bring that ball up. And we're going to put it in front of your right leg and cross the left leg in front. We're going to bend that right knee, stretch those left toes forward, and then come up. So bending the right knee and stretching forward with the left leg. So you feel this in that glute and quad, kind of like when we're doing our curtsy. Just a couple more here. Good, and now ball just straight between the legs. And again, sit into it, but try not to scoot that hip out to the right side. See if you can really keep the hip going straight back. Maybe you can look at yourself, if you see yourself on camera, and make sure, again, that hip's not going to the side, it's going straight back. Good, and then we're gonna roll that ball around. So now it's behind your right hamstring and in front of your left quad. You really need to straighten that left leg out. And then you bend that right knee, slide back with that left. So you're reaching and coming up. And again, working some balance here as well as glute and quad. Two more. And come up. Whew, hopefully you can feel that in that right side. And now that ball shifts around. So it's in front of your left leg, behind the right hamstring. And again, we bend that left leg, stretch forward with the right toes, reach with the toes, reach and reach. Good, keep going. Good, then that ball comes to the side. And again, we're going to sit into that left leg, but try not to push that hip out, really tuck it under. So if you are asymmetrical, as most of us are, you may notice that one side really wants to shift out to that side. So be aware of trying to really drive that straight back. You're going to feel that more in that glute, that extra challenge of not letting the hip scoochie out. And no weight on that right leg. It's all in the left. Last two, last one. And then finally, we roll that around. So it's behind your left thigh, in front of your right. Right leg is straight. In that left knee and stretch back. And again, even on this one, notice that hip, if it wants to go off to the side, try and drive it straight back. Last two, last one. Woo, bring it up, shake those hips out. Just come to the end of your mat, keep that ball where it is. Roll your shoulders up, back and down, elongate, find that Pilates posture. And then we're gonna slide that ball back down above those ankles, bend the knees, and we'll round into a cat and extend into a cow. So just rolling through that spine. Good, and then see if you can bend the knees enough to bring the hands down. Walk it out, pause for a moment in your down dog. And then slide it all the way forward, high plank. Make sure your hips aren't still piked, bring them in line. Roll the shoulders out of your ears, bring your head in line. And then just point your right toes, still holding that ball, and bring those down. And then point your left toes, hold that ball, and bring it down. Right, and then left. And then finally, you can let that ball drop. And you're just gonna come down, well, practice makes perfect. And sit back on that ball, stretch out your spine. And just hang out there for a couple breaths. And then we're gonna come forward, we're gonna put that ball underneath our belly button. And just allow that to give us just a baby arch here. Being supported so that back isn't having to work too much. If that feels like it's too much too soon, bring that ball higher up on your chest. And then finally press up. And we're just gonna come to a seated position with that ball giving us some support here. And we're just gonna lean back. We're gonna let the whole spine be round, right? And then holding on to those hamstrings. Then you're gonna roll the shoulders up, back and down. And then you're gonna bring your head back in line with that spine. So I'm still curled under in my lower back, but my upper back is no longer rounded. Back of the neck is long. Let's inhale, just open and close those arms a couple times, adding a little intensity, and then maybe try that in a V. And then maybe try that in an I, arms up overhead, and they can either come down to your shoulders or tap down to your legs. And then grab those hamstrings, use your arms, curl and tuck, and roll yourself up. Bring that ball between your thighs again. Roll yourself down a vertebra at a time and hug those knees in. And we'll take a little rock side to side. And then we'll just let the legs drop to one side. And then up and over to the other. And then back through center, feet together, knees are obviously a little bit apart. Squeeze the ball and feel your lower abs engaged, ribs are down. So let's do that a couple times. Squeeze the ball, feel those abs engaged. Squeeze the ball, feel the abs engaged. 3, 2, and 1. Squeeze that ball as hard as you can and exhale, lift your torso. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, come down, release the squeeze. Deep breath in, Exhale to squeeze, lift, inhale, arms overhead, and exhale down, releasing the squeeze. So lifting up, you're squeezing, inhaling, reaching, exhaling, still squeezing, and then inhale, release that squeeze. Exhale, lift, inhale, reach, exhale, down, relax. Deep breath in, exhale, lift, inhale, reach, exhale, down, release the squeeze. Exhale, lift, inhale, reach, keep it going. Two more times. Good, last time, stay lifted, fingers to the edges of your skull, try not to pull on your neck. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. 4, 3, 2, and 1.
What's that?
Down, lift from the close chest, and then bring that ball between your knees this time. Legs back in tabletop. Exhale to lift. Inhale, stretch, double leg stretch. Exhale, tap, inhale, reach, exhale, tap. Head and shoulders are gonna either stay lifted the whole time, or if your neck is bothering you, your head can stay down. And then if you wanna add a little entertainment, you stretch the ball over your head and then you exhale as you grab it with your legs. Or, more challenging option, bring it up and put it between your ankles, but don't bring your knees into you, right? So extend and reach. And then lift yourself up, go get the ball and reach. Lift yourself up, put the ball there, inhale, reach, right? So that's an option. Final option, legs stay in tabletop, ball comes on the shins, roll it up the shins, roll it down the shins, and extend. Bring it up, roll it down, and extend, and keep that going. Any one that you want to do is fine for that double leg stretch. And then extend both legs up in the air. Bring that ball behind the right leg, bend your elbows, lift your chest, elbows wide, chest is open, scissors, and switch, and switch. So the ball being there makes your arms a little longer. Maybe you can get a deeper stretch than usual on this scissors. Two more. Good, bend those knees, ball to your right thigh. Nice tabletop. Deep breath in, exhale, use your arms to push the ball, squish it against the thigh, but at the same time resist with the thigh. Left leg can extend and reach, and you can keep your head down, or you can lift it up, but make sure this right leg is pushing against the ball equally as the arms are. And then pause, move that ball to your left thigh. Deep breath in, exhale, press, reach, extend that right leg, exhale to reach, squeezing, pressing, holding 4, 3, 2, 1, and switch, exhaling, pressing, inhale, switch, and switch, and keep switching and switching. Hey, Carlos.
Yes.
I think, yeah, you're not muted, which is okay with me, but I don't know if you're showing up on people's screens when you exit.
I had technical difficulties.
I saw that.
Hopefully you had a good laugh. I'll talk to you in a while.
No worries. All right, and that single leg press, couple more times. Really squish that ball so you've got resistance. Last 2. Last 1, ball either on your low abs or on your ribs. Deep breath in, exhale, sink whichever one it is down. And see if you can hold that ball in place by keeping your abs in. So again, if you don't have kind of a valley in your abs, you can put that on your ribs. And then you're gonna see, and you're gonna try and do this without your hands there. Good. And you're gonna lift those legs, tabletop, or toe touches. Woo-hoo. Deep breath in and exhaling, holding those abs in, inhaling as the legs move away, exhaling to bring them back up. So you inhale as those legs move away. This could be a single leg toe tap, or you can always make it a heel tap. You can bring those legs a little wider in a V. Couple more here. Good, and then bring that ball between your ankles and let's extend those legs up, straight legs, if that's okay with you. Keep your knees bent if this is too much resistance. So pull those ribs nice and flat. Lower those legs, give me a Pilates V with the feet and squeeze, 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 squeeze. Point the toes and come up. Actually, keep the toes pointed, lower, then flex the heels and squeeze, 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 squeeze. Point the toes to lift. Exhale, lower, flex and squeeze, 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 and lift. And keep that going. So double leg lower, if that's okay with your body. Otherwise, you go back to toe taps, but you add that squeeze, 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 squeeze. Knees stay bent, a little less, a long, shorter lever, therefore less resistance. And grab that ball, put your feet down, bring the ball between your knees, squeeze in, lift those hips up, bridge pose. Try and create a straight angle from your knees, hips, and shoulders. So my hips want to be a little folded, so really give those a squeeze because you have to do what's going on with me. Back of the neck is long, shoulders are open, and if you want, you can hover those hands. And then let's just squeeze the ball, squeeze the ball. Then we're going to drop the hips, lift the hips, squeeze the ball, drop, lift, squeeze, and then make it one fluid motion. So drop the hips and lift and squeeze, drop the hips, lift and squeeze, and keep that going. Couple more here. And relax. All right, so now I just want you to extend your right leg out, flex through that heel. And then as you lift up, that left glute is going to be feeling this. And then you squeeze in with that right leg and squeeze and squeeze. Good, right heel down. Let's come down. Extend that left leg, arms up, press into the right heel, lift up, and use your left leg to squeeze in. And left heel down and relax down. So we're going to come back to those bridge poses later, and we'll use the ball for that unstable environment. But for now, let's go ahead and put the ball on your ankles, curl up in a little ball, and start rolling like a ball. Try not to kick your ball. Pausing at the top, exhaling as you round and roll, and inhaling to pause at the top. And then this time when you come up, let's sit up on that ball and extend those legs. Your knees might be bent, but see that you're tall in that spine. Grab hold of your hamstrings, flex your toes back towards your face. Feel already that lengthen your spine. You may already feel some stretch in your hamstrings. Exhale, bend the elbows, pull yourself forward, letting that spine stay tall. Maybe you slide yourself a little forward so the ball is now acting sort of as a wedge to keep the back of your tailbone lifted. And again, back of the neck is nice and long. And then we're going to round and sit up. And we're going to do that one more time. Exhale into that spine stretch. This time, lift your arms above the toes or legs. Reach a little farther, lift a little higher, reach a little farther, lift a little higher, and come up like that. All right, we're going to do that set of quads that you thought I had forgotten. Bend your right leg, left leg stays off to the side. We're up on that ball. You might need your hands down here to stay lifted. Lift that left leg off the ground. Let's point and flex, just 4, 3, 2, and 1. Leave the toes pointed, bend and stretch, stretch. 4 more. Good, flex through the heel and lift 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then bend with the foot flex, press, press. And just 4 more. And bring that down. We'll stretch that in a second. Let's extend the right leg and bring that left leg in. Lift that right leg off the ground, point and flex. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep the toes pointed, bend and stretch. Good, flex through the heel, lift 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep the heel flexed, press, 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 and press. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo. All right, so again, we'll stretch those quads in just a minute when we roll over onto our spine. But let's do one more set here, just as we did at the beginning of class. We're going to wedge that ball behind us and hinge back so we have some support at the low back. This time with the roll downs, we're going to hinge back, keep the ribs down, open to one side, exhale, come up. Inhale at the top, exhale, hinge back, open to the opposite side, come back, exhale up. Inhale to prepare, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, move, inhale, rotate, exhale, back up, inhale, top. Exhale back, inhale, rotate, exhale up, inhale, top, exhale back, inhale, rotate, exhale up, inhale, lift. Keep that going. Four more. Last time. And relax. All right, so from there, you're just going to spin over onto your abs, and you're going to put this ball underneath your right thigh, about midway. And then come all the way down, bend that right knee, and grab that right ankle. So most of us are lying on your left hip. So what I want you to do is lift the left hip up so that you roll so that both hips are even. You're not tipped. And then finally, you'll notice your hips are piped up. I want you to tuck them under instead. If that feels too intense, roll the ball down closer to your knee. So you should feel that quad stretch I mentioned. And then you're just going to roll that ball underneath your left leg. Bend the left knee, grab that left ankle. Legs stay close together. And instead of being on your right hip, lift that right hip up so that both hips are even, and then tuck the hips under. And relax. All right, and then from there, as you press up, as we did at the beginning of class, you're going to put that ball underneath your belly button. And then you're going to bring your hands apart, elbows right underneath your shoulders, shoulders out of your ears. Take your toes, tuck them under, and then we're going to lift up into a plank so that we're just barely touching the ball. And then if you want, you can roll that ball forward and back, but make sure you're not creating any flat tires here. And relax. All right. Round 2 of the plank is to stay there if you want, or we're going to balance, which means that ball is either underneath your ankles or the fronts of your feet, or even your toenails, but not tucking your toes unless you have a really sturdy ball. So again, you find that plank, and then option this time if you want, you can slide those hips up like a pike and then come into your plank and hold. Slide up into your pike and plank hold. And as you come down, you're coming over onto your side. And your elbow is right underneath your shoulder. Press it back, lift up out of it. And then that ball is going to go in between either your thighs, your knees, or down lower towards your ankles. And you're going to stretch up, sorry, there we go. You're going to stretch up in your side plank. And then wherever you have that ball, you're going to see if you can squeeze down on it, but also resist by lifting up on that bottom hip. And then come down. That's that first version of the side plank. If you want to go to the second version of the side plank, then that ball, as you come up, is going to go right underneath you, somewhere where it just barely touches you. And then you just squeeze it, right? As if it's a pet ball. You don't want to hurt it. You just want to let it know you're there. And come down. And then, of course, final version would be balance, which means your bottom leg goes on first and goes towards the back of the ball so that you have some space for your front leg. And then when you're ready, you come up in that side plank. And you can have the option to do a baby pike here or just stay. And gently down. Woo! Yep, we get to do that on the other side. So if you have a skinny mat, feel free to fold it for a little more support for your elbow. You're going to bring that ball between your thigh, your knees, or calves, or towards your ankles. Shoulder back, lift up out of it, engage those lats, and come on up. And then again, press down with the top leg, but resist with that bottom hip. So you're not pushing that bottom hip down. And come on down. And then we're going to bring that ball, option 2, underneath the hip or wherever, so that it barely touches, give it a little squeeze. And come down. Use either of those options if you prefer, or if you want to try the balance. The ball goes under the bottom foot. Leave space for that top foot. Come on up and find that side plank. And come down. Woo! All right, let's come all the way down. Leave the ball down at your feet. If you didn't have it there, go ahead and move it there. You're going to put your bottom leg, you're going to be facing me, put the bottom leg on it, but put the calf on it, right? So maybe above the ankle. And then lie down and really straighten yourself out. So you don't want to be able to see your foot. So you don't want to hinge at the hips. And you should already feel how that puts you in a kind of precarious balance. Lift that waistline. Both legs together, I just want you to push down on the ball. Push down on the ball, push down on the ball. Now, again, if you have kind of a very inflated ball, it might feel kind of wobbly and you might find yourself going, oh, and that's fine. We're looking for stability in those tiny intrinsic muscles. And then push down on the ball with the bottom leg and lift the top leg. And then both of them press up as you press down, press up as you press down, press up and down, up and down, up and down. Abs in, waistline lifted. And relax. Let's bring that ball in between your knees. Knees are bent. Top leg, rather than have it down or up, I want you to try and get it parallel with the bottom. Lift that waistline. Keep that foot parallel, but squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Again, try not to drop the foot nor lift the foot. Just keep it in line so that whole leg is moving as a unit. You could even extend that leg, right? Flex through that heel, bring that leg a little in front of you. Waistline lifted. And then hold it and squeeze it. Try and pop your ball. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And come on up. We're going to move over to the other side. That ball is going down under your bottom leg shin or just above the ankle. Lying sideways. Waistline is lifted. You can't see your toes. Squeeze your legs together. Top hand up on your top hip if possible. Flex through the heels. Press down on the ball. Down on the ball. Pressing down. Pressing down. Keep the waistline lifted even as you press down. Good. Press down, lift the top leg, press up, press down and up, down and up, down and up, down and up. And relax, bend your knees, bring that ball in, stack your hips, stack your knees. So you're not rolled back. You can even put your hand back there to see that your hips are stacked. Waistline off the ground, and then check out that foot. It's not resting, it's not up, it's parallel. And we squeeze down, squeeze down, squeeze down. You might feel this one tomorrow, subtle as it is right now. You may notice it tomorrow when you say, why is that part of my inner thigh hurting? Or talking to me, or whatever it might be doing. Abs in. Waistline lifted. If you want to, extend that leg and flex through the heel. And relax. Roll over onto your spine. And then put that ball underneath your left foot. Walk that foot a little bit ahead of you and flex through the heel so that your heel is down and your toes are up. Deep breath in, press up into your bridge. Now, option here to lift the arms and simply roll forward and back and get some hamstring action, or put the hands back down and see if you can lift your right leg up. And if you can do that, then your options are, again, to roll that ball in and out or lift and lower. Or none of the above, just hold it. Now gently bring your legs down, straighten out your left leg, keep your right leg up in the air, flex through that left heel, and then press down on the ball to lift your hip, but not by lifting the hip, but by pressing down with the left leg. And let's do that again. Press down through the left leg, press down to lift, press down to lift, press down to lift, press down to lift. 2 more times, press to lift, press to lift, press to lift. Woo! Hopefully that left hamstring is on fire, but we're not stretching it yet. Woo! Right leg back. It's a little ahead of you so that your heel can be flexed, the toes up in the air. Option 1 is to just lift the hips and the hands and roll forward back, hamstring curl. Option 2 is to put the hands back down and then lift that left leg. And then you can roll the ball in and out, or you can lift and lower the hips, or you can just hold it. And then right leg rolls out, left leg stays up, ball is behind that right ankle and shin. And then again, I'm not just lifting my hip, I'm pressing down with my right heel to lift a little bit, to press lift, press lift. And relax. Woo! Roll that ball up, roll over onto your abs, and bring that ball out in front of you, please. We'll get to those hamstrings, stretch them out in just a moment. Bring that ball down and bring your hands out in front of you. Keep your toenails on the ground, legs together. Try to bring your head in line with your spine by nodding your head yes. Deep breath in, exhale, press down on the ball to lift your upper body. Deep breath in, exhale, roll your shoulder blades, squeeze them together to lift up a little higher and come back down. Here we go. Exhale, toenails are down, knees are lifted, legs are straight, but toes are on the ground again. Press down to lift up, squeeze back, 4, 3, 2, maybe go higher each time and come down. Deep breath in. Exhale, press to lift, squeeze back, 4, a little higher, 3, 2, and 1, and extend. You don't have to go higher if you don't want. Press down to lift, squeeze back, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. One more time. Press to lift, squeeze, 4, 3, 2. Let's hold it up, press down, pull the abs in, press a little higher, and relax. Whew. Let's just bend those knees and windshield wiper this out side to side. And then we're going to do a little froggy stretch here. So you're going to bring that right leg out to the right, and you're going to put the ball underneath the knee. So it's going to lift it up a little bit, and then you're just going to bring your right arm into a right angle and turn to face the right. It's all about right angles at this moment. And then we're just going to give that left side a nice stretch. So bring your right leg in line with your body, left leg off to the side in a right angle, and then ball underneath your knee. Left arm in a right angle, and then turn your head onto your right ear. And then come on back through center. Bring that ball out in front of you again. Deep breath in, exhale, press up one more time. Shoulders out of your ears. This time lift your legs and give me flutter kicks. Try and get the thigh off the ground. Engage those glutes instead of letting it be low and droopy. Engage those glutes. Not that the glutes are droopy, right? And relax. And this time, let's press all the way back into that resting position. If you like that, put that ball to give yourself some more space. And then as we come forward, we're going to do a little modified pigeon here. So you're going to bring that ball over to the left side of yourself. And then, whoops, you're going to walk the left foot across your mat. My ball wants to go everywhere. And then just let it come under your left glute, right? And then stay there or drop to your elbow. But that ball underneath your left hip should give you a lot of support so that you can get this stretch without bringing that heel right underneath your hip. Try and keep more of a right angle. I know mine's not a right angle, but instead of being completely folded in that left leg. And then come up. There's probably an easier way to get in and out of this. So let's try that on the right side. I'm just going to leave the ball where it is. Roll around. I'm going to extend that left leg, pull the right leg forward again, so it's not a tight angle, and then try that stretch. So nice outer hip stretch. We worked those hamstrings a moment ago. It might help stretch those out a little bit too. And then roll off the ball, come up, bring it behind you again into that sacrum, hinge back, and then just roll a little farther forward so it's underneath kind of your low back area, right? And then hands are going to come down for support. You may have to bend your elbows and then lift those knees way up close to your face. So you could almost go nose to knee, shoulders out of your ears, and let's just let those legs go side to side. You can extend them to each side and turn this into the can-can, but try not to let the knees move away like that, right? You want to keep them in nice and close. You could straighten out those legs and make this the pendulum, And then come back to center, put your feet down, lift your arms. Bring just your right leg up tabletop, but again, it's really close. And then the left. Keep the arms up, and they're not gonna do this big craziness. They're gonna stay to each side, and you're gonna try to rotate those legs. You can add that can if you want, but it might tip you over. You could try straight legs if you want, but again, you want to keep those knees close. You don't want them to move away. So I'm going to stay nice and cozy here. Well, I wouldn't call that cozy, but you know. And then as you come back, roll the ball even a little farther. So now it's underneath your shoulder blades. We're going to bring our fingers to the edges of our skull, and we're going to drop back so that our elbows are supporting our head, or elbows are on the ground. Fingertips are supporting our head, but you'll notice that my chest is lifted and my ribs are popped up. So all I'm going to do is close that. As I did that, my head followed, but I didn't lift my chin and then lower it. I'm keeping my chin in line with my spine. Inhale up and over, exhale, close it down. Inhale up and over, exhale, close it down. Inhale up and over, and exhale to close. Lifting up and over, exhale, close. Couple more like this. And then if you want to make this a little more challenging, let's crisscross the wrists, cradle your head, make sure you're not pulling it forward, right? Should make that lever a little longer, a little harder, or for even more, you crisscross at the wrist, cradle your head in between your biceps, and now you do have that longer lever. Don't forget, you're going up and over before you close down. If you want to add on again, lift your knee up one at a time as you come up. Or both legs come in tabletop. Woo-hoo. And now you balance is the issue too. Good. Come back to those fingertips supporting your head and elbows wide. All right. Keep your closest elbow on the ground. Close the ribs, rotate to me, but don't let this elbow come into your peripheral vision. But see if instead of being, for instance, on your tricep, you could literally come up onto the elbow of that closer arm without closing this elbow. And then come back to center, go up over your ball, close it, opposite elbow on the ground, lift up and across, come as high as you can, and center, up and over, close it, rotate, lift, center, up and over, rotate, lift. Now we're going to take the up and over out of it and just use this ball for support. So we're going to rotate, center, rotate, center, rotate, center. Elbows wide. Don't let that back elbow come into your peripheral vision. I know it wants to. Good, keep that going. And relax. So now our next option is to use this as a stretch. If you want, arms out to the side. If that's too much tension on your neck, support your head, or just roll forward so that ball is giving you a little bit of support. Arms are out in that T position, palms are up, and let's rotate the palms down. And you may feel that stretch a little differently. That kind of almost wraps it around my arm so I feel some bicep and tricep. And then again, rotate palm to the ceiling. Straighten the arms, so lift the elbows so it's not a lazy stretch. And then rotate the thumbs towards the sky. Again, different angle, and then palms down. And now thumbs up and then palms up. And then let's bring those arms down to sort of, let's say 8 o'clock and 4 o'clock. So elbows down is a relaxed stretch, but elbows lifted, you'll feel that a little more all the way down your bicep. And then rotate thumbs to the sky and feel how that comes into your, I forgot what muscle that part of your bicep is, your supinator muscle. And then your palms go down, and you may even feel that start to come wrapping around a little bit into your triceps. So thumbs up, biceps brachia. Yeah, anyway, rotate it open. And then thumbs and then palms down. And then palms all the way up, and we come to 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, and we'll go thumbs up and palm down, and thumbs up and palm open. All right, beautiful. Enough with the stretching. Next exercise, we're gonna bring that ball underneath our tailbone. So toe touch that we did earlier, we're gonna do with the ball here. But before we do anything, I want you to lift your hands off the ground. And that already should put you in that challenging position. This might be enough, just holding the legs here. Or you could go single leg toe touch. Your toes are only gonna go as far from the ground as your ball is, right? So your ball is 7 inches and you're squishing it down to 5, your toes stay 5 inches off the ground. Or you can flex through the heel, but keep those arms lifted, or you can lower both legs at the same time and your pointed toe touch, your heel flex, legs wide, even more challenging, long lever, you choose. Good, and then feet come down, bridge up, take that ball, move it underneath your low back. So you're kind of halfway up here. Hug your knees in, so sort of like the what we did a few moments ago with the can, but your legs are coming straight. Then your hands are going to reach for the ball, for your ankles. You're going to lift up, and you're going to send those arms up over your head. Bend the knees, put them on the ground, come over the ball, just only as far as you want, and then see if you can sweep up in your teaser. Exhale everything down, sweep into your teaser. More challenging, arms and legs straight, right? But the good news, keep going, is that ball is giving you support, so you don't have to go all the way down and all the way up. But you modify as need be. Don't want you to hurt yourself. And then on this last one, let's lift and hold. In your teaser, lift, lift, lift forward, 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, grab those legs, move that ball, lie down, right knee into your chest, left leg is straight. Pull that right knee in, and let's use the ball to direct traffic here. So we're going to pull that knee in and feel the tailbone roll up, and the ribs press against the thigh, and then we're going to press that tailbone down. We're going to pull up and in, let everything roll up, and then we're going to let it roll away. So from here, let's try and keep the tailbone down to bring the knee and the rib closer. Flex through the heel, press that heel to the sky, keep pulling the ball down, and then finally, extend that leg up, point the toes to lift yourself up, flex through the heel to pull yourself down, point to lift, exhale to flex, bend that knee, bring that right arm to the side, left leg over, IT down, or excuse me, outer hip stretch, and all the way over to a twist if you want. And then crisscross, bend that left knee, hug it in, extend it up. You can reach around, you could grab the ball if you wanted and use that behind your hamstring. Let's point and flex through that left foot and rotate. And then bend that knee and crisscross the right over the left. Ball on that left shin if you want. If not, you can just put it in your right hand as your knees drop left. And then as you come back through center, straighten your right leg, followed by the left, and then knee in, left knee in. Use the ball to pull that leg in, roll the tailbone up, and then let it go away. Move the tailbone long, and then pull the knee in, flex to the left heel, press it to the sky, and then roll it up, point to lift yourself, and then flex to lower. Bend that knee, bring it across your body, feel that outer hip stretch, take it into a full twist if you want. Crisscross at the ankles, bend your right knee, grab hold of the back of the right hamstring, or use the ball, flex and point through those right toes, that right ankle, and then bend the knee, left over right, ball on the shin if you want, or off to the left, and drop right. And then back through center, straighten both legs. Your option how you want to get yourself over onto your hands and knees. You can roll up, you can roll over to one side. Let's just bring that ball between your thighs. Let's do a little undulating cat-cow. Right, so forward back. And then finally, leave those hands out in front of you a little bit. Tuck those toes, lift up, down dog. Pedal out those heels if that would feel good. And then wide stance. Nod yes and shake no. Then bend those knees, hands on your thighs. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Shoulders out of your ears. And that is ball day. Thank you, guys. I do have some more